But it still sucks. It still sucks when someone says I love you and you don't love them back and you do actually care for that other person. Anyway, let's contact Monika. For hopefully some more lightheartedness, although maybe not. My phone begins vibrating on the kitchen table. Incoming call, Monika. Or call even. I wonder what she could want so early in the morning. Hello? Hey, are you home right now? Yeah. Did you need something? Come, open the door. The door? What are you? You're at my house? Is that a problem? Don't tell me you've already got another girl in there with you. Yeah, Yuri's on her way over. She's way too carefree about the terms of our agreement. This also reminds me of another, like a Dutch comedian where he's like, he talks about how calling is not very special anymore. And then he's like, well, at one point I was like, the doorbell went and my cell phone went off, both at the exact same time. I was like, all right, fuck, I'll just grab my phone. I was like, hello, this is me. Like, hey, it's me, man. Open your front door. I'm right there. It's like, what? It's like, fine, just give me 1 second. Long time no see, Mark. You know, with all your talk of things like tact, I assumed you'd know better than to show up uninvited to a person's house at 8 in the morning. As well, all's well that ends well, right? And if I had been asleep right now like a normal person, my intuition told me you were an early riser. But that wouldn't have been a bad idea either. Been bad either. You're probably much more endearing when you're groggy after all. Does forcibly being awakened by a potential home intruder usually make people act endearing? Come on now, no need to be so bitter. Who knows, I may have been willing to help you get dressed had you played your cards right. Sorry, but I'm not quite decrepit enough to need that kind of help. I see. Even this early in the morning, you're still not cute at all. Coming from the person standing at my door offering salacious services. Honestly, isn't this sort of thing bad for a young woman with an upstanding image? Maybe if the offer had been made to someone actually willing to accept. With you, I may as well be asking a spatula. I'm sure you'd make him one happy utensil. You're such a dork. And just how long do you plan on making me stand out here? Won't your neighbors start getting funny ideas? Given some of the things Sayori has shrieked going to and from the school, I doubt their opinion of me could get any worse. Should I even ask? If you do, at least wait until you're inside. Come on. We both retreat into the privacy of my house. So, what possessed you to ruin my perfectly tranquil breakfast? If by ruin you mean enhance, then I'd say it was to make the most out of this little agreement of ours. Oh. Then perhaps now would be a good time to mention that morning sessions cost money. More. Money. Did you become a therapist at some point? If so, you should probably have your certifications revoked. And don't forget, I'm only here to capitalize on your assets, not get psychologically evaluated. Of course. The fact you're actually a gold digger disguised as my club president must have slipped my mind. Glad we could clear that up. Monika giggles to herself as I feel increasingly exhausted. If the goal wasn't to throw a wrench into my day off, then why are you here? Do you really not remember? In that case, try thinking back to what we talked about last time I was here. You mean your idea of doing things differently simply meant coming over on a day off? Not exactly. I was actually planning on the two of us going somewhere. Oh yeah, that's right, she did mention that. So you're inviting me on a date? I'm flattered. Oh please, don't go getting ahead of yourself. Only a select few are allowed to date an elite like myself. You just happen to be my only option for right now. Be that as it may, isn't it the easiest choice often the best? I doubt Occam's razor was theorized for the purpose of you complimenting yourself. Don't act too confident. I'm actually pretty tight with 13th century philosophers. We're getting off track. Alright, the date. I already told you. Well, whatever. For simplicity's sake, I'll allow you to call it that. The implications of the word dates probably don't mean anything to you anyways. Fair enough. Now then, where are you planning on us going? Also, even if she's like completely fine with like, oh, this is not a date or whatever, just the two of us in public, wouldn't that be raising some questions in the school? You know, aka the most popular girl in the school with a random dude. Like, that would just make the rumor machines go fucking crazy. So why doesn't Monika consider that to be a possibility? Nowhere specific really, just figured getting out of the house for fresh air once in a while would do the body good. Also, well, no offense, but sitting around here every time I need a breather is repetitive. Already assaulting the place you practically begged me to use. Me? Already assaulting the place you practically begged me to use. I thought the me was about the using. Like, I didn't use my own place. I didn't beg to use my own place, but no, the begging is she begged me to use this place. Got it. You trust fund types sure are hard to please. It's not that. I really am grateful for you letting me drop in like this. But there's still a part of me that wants to be able to go out and enjoy the world. Even if only in small doses. Slipping off to a place where people don't recognize you can't be too difficult, right? So why bother trying to bring me along? Do you really have to ask? You can only go somewhere alone so many times before it becomes depressing. There's a hint of genuine sadness on her face as she says this. While going out with a group can be really fun, even then there's still an expectation of me being the flawless and responsible class star. I just wanted to spend time with someone whose opinion of me doesn't matter whatsoever. Well, I'd normally have a few words about such a description of myself. I hold my tongue in honor of your apparent seriousness. How thoughtful. Yeah, I still don't really understand why she doesn't really like talk to this stuff about this stuff to Yuri, or I mean, I can understand Natsuki, but Yuri, Sayori, I'm pretty sure they would be understandable. Like when Monika says, "Hey, that class star me is not the actual me, and I feel very tired if I have to put up that face all the time." It means unknowingly Sayori can relate with that the most because, of course, Sayori is you know, always happy, even though she's not really always happy. She's always putting up the smile, even though she may be super depressed that day. So, you know, she can totally relate, and she can totally understand Monika. So, I mean, Monika doesn't know that, of course, that part about Sayori, but I'm still honest, like, why? Like, I mean, in the original game, maybe in this mod too, but I've forgotten it a little bit. Like, in the original game, all the girls made, like, very fun, like, degrading comments about themselves, about how they were all of them combined would not be as popular as Monika, you know? Like, Monika was more desirable than all the other club members combined. So, you know, like, if that's, like, based in reality, then all of the other girls are very low on the social ladder, so they're not really like the type, and of course they actually do genuinely care for Monika. So, like, showing her true face to them really wouldn't be that much of a big deal, I feel like, because they wouldn't start rumors. They wouldn't, you know, tell other people about it. They wouldn't, they would know how to act when acting with Monika in public, because they know that Monika is all about that serious image that the rest of the school knows. So I'm very curious why I am the only one that can understand. Well, Monika said that she felt that I was off too, so therefore she wanted to relate a little bit, but still, like, I'm still, I mean, at this point I've been in the literature club for a few months in-game. In real life, I've been in the part of the literature club for years at this point, but, you know, like, it's still a bit weird that she didn't confide that side of her in her friends, her older friends, rather than she choosing me, but whatever. Even though you said nowhere specific, surely you still have some idea where to go? Yeah, there's a small, quiet town about 30 minutes by train from here. It's the same one we visited during our Golden Week trip. Planning on having another impromptu shrine visit? Nope. I'm all locked out for the time being and wouldn't want any gods thinking I'm greedy. So only humans have the pleasure of seeing that side of you. Sounds like the deities really are missing out. Hilarious, but the only person seeing this side of me is you. You should feel blessed. Believe me, I most certainly do. Every day of the week, in fact. Jeez, your personality really does suck. Ow. Oh well, guess I'm just going to have to deal with it for today. Oh, you came here! Well, don't try to pull a Natsuki on me, Monika. You came here for... Whatever. Don't try to play the tsundere now. You're making it sound like I'm the one that suggested going out. You came here practically already like handcuffed me and brought me along. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to deal with it. Like, it was 120% your idea, Monika. You could have stopped this at any moment in time. And then you would not have to deal with my personality. Or have to put up with it. So, that sentence makes no sense though. You were just trying to pull a Natsuki on me there. Is there anything you need to do before we go? Depends, when exactly are we leaving? I figured we could catch the 9 o'clock train, which would get us there before 10. Seeing as though the station is 15 minutes from here, you've got about 45 to get ready. We could leave earlier, but I still need to change clothes and do all my makeup. That would explain the bag she's carrying. I've already showered and eaten breakfast, so there's nothing really left to get ready. Unless you plan on extending your original offer of letting me help you get dressed. Oh, looks like someone's feeling cheeky this morning. But I'm afraid your current score is too low to trigger the Monika changing event. How heartbreaking. Guess I'm really gonna have to exert myself this time around. I'm looking forward to it. With this, Monika heads into the bathroom to change out of her uniform, leaving me wondering why she was wearing it in the first place. After she returned, the two of us killed some time before eventually heading to the station. The ride felt familiar as we returned to the small town which had hosted our Golden Week getaway. This is not that same place. Well, at least we weren't here, you know? We find ourselves on the main street not long after getting off the train. I mean, it makes sense that this wouldn't be the background with all the stalls, because of course there's no festival going on right now. Incredible. This place somewhat looks even more generic than last time I was here. 2 minutes in and you're already trying to get to anger the locals. Don't worry, I'm speaking English. They don't understand anything. They're speaking they only understand Japanese. Do you seriously not have any common sense? If you haven't figured that out by now, telling you the answer probably won't help. You're impossible. And try keeping in mind the genericness is part of the reason we're here. Small town, half an hour away, as aesthetic as can be, as a can of beans. The chance of running into someone you know definitely seems slim. This place doesn't exactly strike me as somewhere high schoolers spend their weekends unless they're visiting grandparents or something. Your wording could use some work, but I agree. So, what's on the agenda? Think of anywhere we should visit? Possibly. There was a park not far from where the stalls were set up on the day we went to the festival. Thought that might be worth checking out. If fresh air is what you're looking for, a park would certainly be the best place to find it. We could even scope out a picnic spot for our next date while we're there. Our next one, huh? Don't you think you're getting ahead of yourself? Consider it a sign of my intent. Your intent to do what? Maximize my score, of course. Oh. Well, good luck on your endeavor. You'll be needing it. With this, Monika turns and begins leading the way through the town. Oh, yeah, I recognize this. This is where I first met Sayori in Blue Skies. It is actually very depressing though that Monika has to fucking completely leave town in order to just be herself for once. That's actually pretty sad, if you think about it. After about 15 minutes of walking, we finally arrive at our destination. It was hard to tell with the sun going down last time, but this place is actually pretty nice. Given how bland everything else is, the bar for nice isn't all that high. You're determined to make people dislike you, aren't you? As long as I never end up moving here, the locals' opinion of me doesn't really mean much. I'm not sure a guy whose house has all the interior decoration of a morgue is in any position to be critiquing scenery. Hey, morticians make an honest living. They provide a service everyone is gonna need at some point. I was insulting you, not the profession. Ah, honestly, your thought process is way beyond me. She stays while rubbing her temples. She says while rubbing her temples. The next several minutes are spent taking in the sights with little in the way of actual conversation. This isn't a complaint, but is walking around the park aimlessly really a good idea for a date? Ever the inquisitive mind, I see. And whether it's a good idea or not largely depends on the person. Everyone has different preferences, which means you'd be better off hosting a first date in more neutral territory. Like a coffee shop or a restaurant, for example. Oh? Since when did you become a love guru? Well, you were supposed to be in the original game before you went rogue. Haven't you learned not to underestimate me by now? More than most people, unfortunately. But what about you? How many points would a guy score for bringing you to a park with the intention of wooing? Let's see, I'd say 10 points. And how many if it was me who brought you? 5 points. I see. So the person themselves makes significant difference. And they seem to be the only worth half your ideal. Don't bother overthinking it. I was just trying to hurt your feelings. Well, that's a relief. In all honesty though, you're probably the only person I'd give points for bringing me here. Damn, you hate the place that much? You end up making the locals sad if they find out. You want to talk. And that's not even the point I was trying to make. I'm not sure how to explain this, but coming here with anyone else would probably just feel like an errand, or maybe some kind of meeting. It would feel like work? She nods her head. I'd be so concerned about leaving a good impression, I wouldn't be able to relax or enjoy the atmosphere. Which means you don't care about the impression you leave on me? Precisely, little punk. My hand instinctively reaches towards the top of her head before realizing I'm not dealing with Sayori. Trying to wave at someone? No, I was just, well, thinking I'd offer to hold your hand. What, you mean way up here? It's my first time. That's actually a pretty funny and cute response. She looks at me confused for a second before beginning to smile. You're pretty weird, aren't you, Mark? That's certainly a word people may use to describe me. Well, if hand holding is what you're after, she reaches up towards my still awkwardly placed hand before grabbing it with full force and pulling it down to her side. What do you think? Pretty heart pounding, huh? Indeed. Almost terminally so. Geez, wouldn't it kill to show even a little excitement? Given my weak pulse and family history of heart attacks, that's entirely possible. Ugh. Say what you want, but I bet your BPM is through the roof right now and you're simply pretending to be calm. Calling me a liar, are you? In that case, why not check for yourself? And how do you expect from me... Wait, what are you doing? She quickly lets go as I begin using my free hand to lift my shirt. You wanted to check my heart rate, right? My pulse is weak, remember? I was trying to remove any obstacles. She stares at me for a moment before furrowing her brow. I get that you're trying to mess with me, but just how far were you willing to go? Why, I have no idea what you're talking about. The sole reason for removing my shirt was to prevent interference. I certainly had no intention of embarrassing you, if that's what you're asking. Ugh. You say weak, but are you sure there's even a heart in there to begin with? An excellent question. Honestly, the offhanded comments are one thing, but your willingness to strip in public makes me think you might really be a shameless deviant. To be fair, I hadn't actually planned to show anything higher than my abdomen. I figured the flesh of the old rock bed would be... Well, what the fuck is rock bed? Would be enough to get a reaction out of you. The only place you find a rock bed is on your body is inside your skull. Oh, is that why everyone insists on calling me dense? No, not even close. Our banter continues as we continue progressing through the park. To be honest, I was actually rather skeptical about coming here at first, but I'm really glad we did. Walking a trail was the perfect way for me to stretch my legs. The greenery was certainly more entertaining than any of the buildings, I'll give you that much. It's not a very enthusiastic attitude to have after such a nice walk with a pretty girl. A pretty girl? Where? Ouch! She slugs me in the arm. For all your talk, you're the punk who's always trying to pick a fight. And you don't think that comment isn't going to cost you a lot of points? Points, huh? Since we're on the topic, mind telling me how many I've got exactly? That last quip aside, well, between the crappy attitude and the decent exposure, I'd say you're sitting comfortably somewhere in the negatives. I see. Guess this whole dating thing is out of my league after all. Yeah, was that ever in question? Well, we've still got time. I'm sure I'll think of something to get me out of the red. We stop walking as I begin formulating a plan on how to tank my score even further in the most entertaining way possible. Not long into this, however. Ugh. I look over to find Monika bent over touching her toes. Is now really the best time to be limbering up, or did you miss fresh air that much? Hey, I don't think I'm doing this just for the clean oxygen. Standing up straight, she points her finger directly at my nose. I challenge you to a race! Just like in fucking Encore, a race up the stairs. A what? Race, a competition between runners, horses, vehicles, boats, etc. to see which is the fastest in covering a set course. Smartass. Doesn't feel too good being on the receiving end, huh? That aside, I meant, why do you want to race? There haven't been many chances for me to play sports or exercise since starting the literature club, so I figured I'd make the most out of this opportunity. When the two of us sprinting through a park draw the attention you're so desperately trying to avoid, it's fine. There aren't many people here, and we're not exactly running a marathon. A quick little race won't do any harm. Or are you just worried you'll lose? I have maximum athletics, Monika. Don't know about you, but I think you're the one that should be worried. I've maxed out my skills. Guess Sayori wasn't joking when she said Monika had a competitive streak. While me losing is highly possible, don't think I'm gonna pull any punches if we do this. That said, how should we do this? Scenic parks aren't exactly designed for competitive running. We've already walked most of the path, so why not race to the entrance? You're way too fired up over this. Lacking motivation? In that case, how about a wager? Did the class star really just invite me to gamble? Now, how could I refuse? That's the spirit. So, what are the terms? How about the winner gets a kiss? A kiss? Wouldn't that involve both of us though? Why bother trying to win if the same thing's gonna happen either way? You really are impossible, aren't you? Well, it's actually a fairly valid objection, Monika. Then how about the loser has to buy lunch? Oh, going for an attack on my pride and my wallet. I'd expect nothing less from such a shrewd crop president. You don't respond to kissing, but the second I bring up money, you suddenly get fired up. I think my confidence as a woman is starting to falter. I bend over and begin stretching my legs. Now then, how about we go ahead and get this over with? Your lack of drive is kind of a buzzkill, but maybe the look of shame on your face when you lose will make up for it. Only one way to find out. We both stretch our legs a few more seconds before lining up and facing the park's entrance. On your mark, get set, go! With this, the two of us immediately begin sprinting. Even though the idea of people seeing us to do this does bother me a little, I still make an honest effort to keep up with her. She may not have been taking me seriously, but I wasn't joking when I said I was going to try and win. Knowing there wouldn't be any wriggle room with her, I climbed to my max speed as soon as possible after taking off. Monika, seemingly surprised by my competence, follows suit, letting off her brakes completely. Even though I'm sure there's nothing graceful about my running, a quick glance at Monika drives home just how amazing she is. With all the strident form of a track star, she fights for the win with everything she's got. My whole body feels like it's on fire by the time we cross the line, with the two of us finishing at almost exactly the same time. Looks like I might have underestimated you. That's what you get when you face me with max athleticism, Monika. I deliberately maxed out my shit before I was talking to you. Setting low expectations is a specialty of mine, remember? That effect? Punk. The two of us take a minute to catch our breaths and regain our composures before trying to continue the conversation. Thanks for that. Huh? Blowing you out of the water wouldn't have been very exciting, so thanks for putting in an honest effort. Yeah, glad to hear my years of running culminated in being able to keep you on your toes. Truly a worthy goal. You can rest well knowing your efforts will push me to become even more elite than I was before. Even more? If that's true, I almost regret trying so hard. Looks like I'll be the one buying lunch then, huh? You're a lucky guy, having such a pretty girl treat you to a meal. As nice as that sounds, aren't you the one who crossed first? Huh? I'm pretty sure it was you. Me? We look at each other for a moment before she shakes her head. Well, regardless of who actually won, this lunch is on me. Consider it a reward for being such a good sport. Oh, how gracious of you. Still a little exhausted, the two of us begin making our way down the sidewalk looking for somewhere to eat. I like how they actually made it so that you don't know who actually won. We all know it was me though. We walk due to my freaking max level athleticism. Oh wow, Monika's on 1 now, what the fuck? I was on 11 before. I really don't understand this system. How you gain and lose points. It seems to go all willy-nilly in random moments. Maybe it's because I'm on the Yuri route. I'm locked in on the Yuri route and I'm not deliberately losing points with everybody else. Maybe. We walk around for nearly 20 minutes before Monika suddenly stops me. That place looks good, don't you think? Oh yeah, this is in Blue Skies too, I believe. The restaurant where we go with Yuri. And where you can order for her or you can let her order to not make her fully dependent on you. She points to a restaurant bearing an unusually strong aura of classy for the town it's in. There's also a large patio area filled with tables, allowing you to enjoy all the detriments of being outside while trying to enjoy a meal. Should I assume the look on your face means you don't want to eat here? Not exactly. This is the nicest place we've seen so far by a significant margin, so eating here wouldn't really be a problem. I just never understood the appeal of an outdoor dining area. Sounds like you didn't go on many picnics as a kid. I did, but they always ended with me getting dragged through the woods by Sayori. That definitely sounds like her. Come on, let's go grab a seat. Doing as she says, the two of us sit at a table near the door. Judging by your initial reaction, I'm guessing you've never been here before. That's right. While I do come to this town every now and then, I don't usually stop at the restaurants. People would probably get the wrong idea if they saw me eating at a place like this by myself. Given your looks, I highly doubt any of them would assume you got stood up. Huh? Our conversation is interrupted by a woman wearing a uniform approaching our table. My name is Mokato, and I'll be taking care of you two today. She pulls out a small notepad while looking between the two of us. Her gaze is set on Monika for several seconds before she eventually looks back at me with a big smile on her face. Pardon my saying so, but your girlfriend is quite beautiful. Thank you. I'm lucky to have found someone so far out of my league. We place our orders, all while she seemingly tickled to have stumbled upon the existence known as... What? We place our orders, all while she is seemingly tickled to have stumbled upon the existence known as Monika. Alright, I'll have those out for you in just a moment. Monika looks at me surprised as the waitress walks off. You handled it awfully well for someone not accustomed to social interactions. Well, I've already maxed out my social skills too, Monika. Even as a child can handle giving a server their order. I meant the part where she complimented your girlfriend. Huh? Oh, that wasn't really anything new. My response was practically muscle memory. So you were secretly a gigolo after all? Unfortunately, no. I've just grown accustomed to people thinking similar comments whenever I'm out with Sayori. Which is annoying considering they're basically saying, wow, you're with her? How did that happen? It's never, your boyfriend sure is handsome, or you two make a cute couple. That kind of thing hurts a person's confidence, you know? Who knows how long the trauma's gonna last. She grins as I pretend to wipe my eyes. All this emotional devastation is why I've begun having fun in my own way by replying with things like, we're actually engaged, or our step-parents are filing for divorce. I'm starting to feel bad for Sayori. Don't worry, the feeling of empathy goes away after a while. Right. Well, I don't know how the waitress would think, but as far as boyfriends go, you could be worse. A raving review coming from an elite class star. Isn't it? Who knows? With some hair gel and better personality, you might even be a catch. You say that, but my work personality scored me a date with the Monika, which means it's gotta be worth something. So you still insist on calling this a date, huh? You heard the waitress, Monika. That's an awfully cheeky thing for a junior club member to be saying to his president. Just playing towards my strengths. Given how few can actually say they've been on a date with you, not making the most out of it would be wasteful. Keep acting nonchalant and you'll end up breaking the girl's heart one day. A girl's heart one day. She's got bigger problems. She's got bigger what? She's got bigger problems if she's in a position where something I say has any emotional impact. It's remarkably cruel, even coming from you. How so? Most people don't freely decide on who they fall in love with. Surely you were aware of that much at least. Well, guess you could say I had an idea. We make small talk until the waitress eventually brings us our meals. Monika ordered salad while I ordered a steak with a side of vegetables. I'm not sure how, but I've heard you're a vegetarian. Any truth to that? Been studying up on your class star trivia, have you? Calling me impressed. I stopped eating meat around the beginning of last year, so the vegetarian lifestyle is still relatively new to me. Gotcha. You know, I wouldn't have minded ordering a salad as well had you asked. Don't worry, I'm not the type who goes around forcing people to feel the same way I do. Informing others and letting them make their own choice is as far as I'm willing to go. Well, thanks anyways. Hearing you say something considerate feels kind of strange, but I appreciate the thought. It's nothing worth giving me credit for. I just happen to be accustomed to eating vegetarian dishes. She wears a confused expression as I pick up my chopsticks. The two of us, apparently hungrier than we realized, finish our meals rather quickly. It's not even 1 o'clock by the time we start letting the food settle. Anywhere else you plan on going after we leave here? I figured we'd do a quick lap through the town before heading back to the station. Catching the 1:30 train would get us back around 2, which would give me enough time to stop by your place, grab my bag and change clothes. Got somewhere to be afterwards? Just gotta run a few errands. That's why I insisted on coming here so early. She mentioned changing back into her uniform, which reminds me. Considering how you were dressed all prim and proper when you arrived at my house, I'm assuming your parents aren't aware of our little romantic getaway? Yeah, that much should be obvious. They think I'm out tutoring right now. Tutoring? Yeah. It's a side job where I do whenever I'm in need for some extra funding. Given my track record, parents are usually pretty quick to ask for my help in getting their kids' grades up. When you say kids, are we talking elementary school or middle schoolers mostly? But they have been times where I've helped people around the same age as us. That's not surprising. I'm sure there are even some college students who'd feel blessed having you around. Oh? Hearing you give me genuine praise is actually rather rare. It seems like you're working hard for those points after all. Well, me giving you a hard time doesn't mean I don't recognize your talent. Your amazingness became more than clear back when we were running. Even though the race was close, I couldn't have felt further away. The expression grows more serious. We went over this last time, remember? You've got no reason to always be putting yourself down. Sorry. Guess agreeing to be more careful didn't mean much. She looks at me, deliberating on something before finally letting out a sigh. I know asking this is probably useless, but are you sure you don't want to tell me more about yourself? Don't forget that my help was also part of our agreement. Her unexpected earnestness is enough to momentarily weaken my guard. I guess... once again, I'm not allowed to... what's it called? Not allowed to say the truth. Triple dot or maybe some other time. Guess maybe some other time. Really? Feeling confident with my answer is hard when you act all surprised. Sorry, I was just expecting you to say something else. Or maybe nothing at all would be more accurate. Okay, so triple that would be... Okay, no. But I'm pretty sure that I can't, because I'm already on Yuri's route, that I can't fully go all the way. But still. But your eagerness to understand my situation is somewhat understandable. You should really put more thought into the future. There's a very real possibility you won't be able to rely on me to uphold our agreement after learning the details. Is it really that bad? Honestly, not entirely sure why I'm even offering her this much. Letting more people know about my problems will clearly complicate things. But still, there's something about Monika that's different. Maybe it's the sense of familiarity. What the hell am I doing? Do you want an idea? Huh? What do you mean? An idea of the sort of baggage I'm carrying? Of why I keep things to myself? Are you sure? It looks like you really don't want to tell me. Only because I don't. And then why? Don't try finding rationality in my offer, there is none. However, this would give you a better idea of how to proceed with our agreements. A dull pain creeps into my chest during the silence surrounding her decision. I want to know more. That was the whole point of all this, right? To give you someone to confide in, to try and help. Good intentions don't always lead to positive results, but very well. Taking a deep breath, I tried and relaxed before beginning the story. My parents hate me. Not in the way someone our age might mean it, but genuinely. My life is nothing more than a burden to them. I'm sure you're exaggerating. I'm not. They've told me as much themselves. To them, I'm nothing more than a leech they have to provide for until I find a new host. But don't start feeling sorry for me. The feeling between us is mutual. I've despised them from a young age. A mindset which has only grown stronger as I've grown older. My heart is squeezed tight by the pressure of my past, a phenomenon that brings up even more bad memories. Are you sure they really hate you? I mean, parents are supposed to inherently love their kids, right? There was someone else they loved once, but that person went away many years ago. And they apparently never had enough room in their hearts to feel the same way about me. Someone else? Sorry, but I don't intend on going into any more detail. I'm guessing telling me all this didn't make you feel any better, huh? If you mean physically, I'd say I'm much worse off than before. Damn it. Sorry, I wish I knew what to say. It's just... There's no need for you to feel responsible. I told you this of my own volition, so you'd be able to make a more informed decision. Nothing more, nothing less. Here, I'll go pay. This conversation has clearly caused her enthusiasm to drop significantly. The mood between us had shifted considerably by the time we left the restaurant. Normally an extended silence wouldn't be a problem for me, but I find myself overthinking the situation nonetheless. The air feels stagnant as we do some light window shopping before returning to the train station. Seems you were able to make it back in one piece. She nods her head. Listen, I'm sorry about earlier. That wasn't the right time to... Looks like you're as stubborn about listening as you are losing. I've already told you not to worry. There's no reason for you to feel responsible when I'm the one not upholding their end of the agreement. Her eyes fall towards the floor. You're rationalizing again. We find ourselves once again enveloped in silence. I should go ahead and change back into my uniform. If you'll excuse me. She brushes past me and heads towards the bathroom. This is a strange predicament. Normally, telling someone about my circumstances would create distance, but the opposite is true this time. Monika seems increasingly more discontent by my reluctance to divulge any information. Why did I even agree to this arrangement in the first place? What was I hoping to get out of it? Did I seriously only intend to lend her a hand? These questions swirl around my head for a while until Monika finally reappears in the hallway, bag in hand. Thanks again for going with me today. Not going alone did make the trip much more enjoyable. She slips past me once more before stopping it to put her shoes on. Listen, there's something we need to discuss next time. Something important. I think you're right. Ending this short but packed conversation, Monika steps out of the house. Okay. Okay, we can have a thing with Keybend weekend. Alright, I'll end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Valeta.